Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Wander and Prepare. Today I have a very exciting and very special episode for you. So this has been a Grail knife of mine for a very long time. So first off, we'll show you the beautiful case that it comes in. So this is actually a tailored by Cortez sheath, but if you see that symbol right there, this is a Jack Wolf knife. So this is the Jack Wolf Vampire Hunter. So the handle is made out of black bone. This comes in a Magna Cut steel, and this is actually a collaboration. So that side you saw Jack Wolf Wife. This is actually a collaboration with LT Wright, and you see his logo on that side. But that black bone handle is just absolutely gorgeous. So this is a pen knife. It's got copper pins in it. It's got a red looking G10 liner on the inside. So again, I told you, Magna Cut steel. It has a full flat grind on it. And I don't know if you can see, but if you see the little marks in that grind, what that full flat means that edge goes from here all the way up to here. But man, I'm not gonna strike a ferro rod with this one because it's not touted to be an outdoor knife, but that spine is amazingly sharp. Like, it is incredible. And then he does like a little swedge right there to kind of make that tip extra pointy, and just does a fantastic job of doing that. So again, collaboration between LT Wright and Jack Wolf, and this is the Vampire Hunter. So this is about as close to a custom knife as you can get to. So he literally only makes these a couple times a year, and every single time he makes them, the handles are a little bit different. They always come in Magna Cut steel. So far, I think a couple of them has come in a different steel, and they come for just a little bit different price. But this retails for $349. So not your cheapest knife out there. Again, pretty much a custom knife. Only sells them a couple times a year. And normally when he puts these on sale, they go out of stock that same day. Like, if you ever find one and you want the Vampire Hunter, sign up for his emails, and as soon as they come out, race to that website and go ahead and purchase one. But I could not resist, even though this is kind of a Grail knife for me. I absolutely do not have any Safe Queens, and this has been in my pocket all day long, and I'm absolutely going to do a cutting test with it today, and we're just going to see how well this thing performs. And I am super excited, just because I know Jack Wolf, not know him well, but like know his knives very well, and like he makes some crazy sharp knives. So he mostly deals in S90 steel, S90V, but this is actually Magna Cut, and that full flat grind, I am so excited. So let's just go ahead and get started and see how this thing cuts. So let's first do the paper test. I have literally, the only thing I have cut with this was I had a string on the shirt that I was wearing. That is the only thing that has been cut with this knife. So let's just see how it does on paper. Oh, that was me. I don't think the paper. There we go. So crazy sharp. That's me, not the knife. So again, I'm not the best at cutting paper, but I think you can tell, crazy sharp. All right, so let's just start with the survivor cord. So again, this is Titan survivor cord. And for those of you not familiar with Titan survivor cord, it is incredibly hard to cut. I don't know if you can see it, but right there, there's a metal snare right there. And that's what makes this so hard to cut. Now, most knives do pretty well cutting it this way, as you can kind of hold on to it. And again, goes through it with ease. But where most knives struggle is trying to go through it when laying on the table. It almost always hangs up on that metal snare. I feel it. Ooh, I thought I felt it. Cut through that with absolute ease. So not too long ago, I did a review of the Overland X, and also crazy sharp knife. It struggled. It literally almost could not get through that laying on the table like that. But again, that full flat grind lends itself well. So let's just go ahead and take a look at that edge cutting the metal wire. This is Magna Cut, so it's not S90V. S90V has crazy edge retention, his other knives, but S90V is also, because it's so hard, it's also a little brittle. The great thing about MagnaCut, it's kind of your best of both worlds. It still has excellent edge retention, not quite as high as S90V, but it's also crazy strong. So it's a really, really good knife in that aspect, a really, really good steel rather in that aspect. All right, so what am I gonna cut next? Let's go ahead and do the plastic clothesline. So again, we've seen a couple knives struggle with this one. Let's see how easily it goes through it. Man, relatively easy. So again, if y'all saw that Overland X review, this is one of the things I'm talking about. See, when I hold my fingers on the blade like this and I put it down, that is literally all of the edge that I can actually use to cut when I'm on a flat surface. If I move my hands just a little bit, I can get a little bit more of it right there, but I got more than half the blade that I can't even use to cut. So again, just that's why I like the sheep's foot blade. That's why I like my blade to be just a little lower than my handle. So let's go ahead. It's just so enjoyable. Cut that a little bit more. Really interesting. So I tried to cut that right there in the bend of the knife. It goes through it, but I have to put just a little bit of force on it. But if I can get that edge of the knife right there, or that goes through it relative ease. All right, let's step it up. Let's go ahead and do the toe strap. Again, this is a 24,000 pound toe strap, and yeah, exactly like I thought. It goes through it with absolute ease. Now, let's see how it does on the table. Most knives can get through this. We're cutting it like that. Not all knives that I've tested have been able to get through it cutting on the table like this. So let's see how it does. So I have to put just a little bit of force on it. But man, use that edge, hanging up just a little bit right there. But goes through it, pretty clean cut. So again, struggled a little bit with the body, but when I use that edge, slice through it like crazy. All right, let's see how it does on the jute twine. So again, this is just standard jute twine. Actually didn't know this until recently, but this is actually rated for around 400 pounds, but pretty thick stuff. Let's see how it goes through that. Whoa, cut almost halfway through it on the first one. That's pretty incredible. So saw it just a little bit, which all of them kind of struggle towards the end, but amazingly clean cut. Again, that edge holding up just fine. All right, let's step it up. So if you guys remember this from the last video, this is a polypropylene rope. And again, when I went to Tractor Supply to have them cut this, they had to use a chain cutter to cut through this. The pocket knife in my pocket couldn't touch it, like just wouldn't do anything with it. So let's see how it does. Definitely struggling some. They're gonna roll it a little bit and to help it get all the way through it like that. All right, roll it this way some. Definitely have to saw on it a little bit. Almost all the way through it. I'm gonna go ahead and put just a little pressure here. See if I can pull it through. Get all the way through this thing. Ooh, I'm loving this new rope. So, I think we're learning. It doesn't matter how sharp your knife is. I think most knives are going to struggle with this one. So, this is literally one of the sharpest knives that I've had on this table. And holy crap. I mean, all right, so look, that's left now that I got all the other fibers out of the way. I bet I can cut these off pretty easily. But there you have it. Not a clean cut at all. So man, loving this new rope for these knife tests. So again, the only thing I hate about that polypropylene, that crap gets all over it. So again, you'll see me wipe my knife on my shirt. I can't help it. I just hate a dirty knife. All right, let's see how it does with some zip ties. So this is just a regular standard small zip tie. Goes through it pretty easy. Let me see if I can get this stuff out of the way here. All right, let's see how it does on the table. Again, put my hand on top there, give it a little pressure. Goes through it. All right, now we have a medium duty Goes through it pretty easily. See how it goes through here. Let me get a little higher up there. A little pressure, but it goes through it. All right, let's get the heaviest duty zip tie that I have. Man, that was pretty nice. All right, let's see if I can get through it here. Ooh, I'm trying not to cut myself, by the way. There it goes. Took a little bit to get through that one. And if you saw that when I slipped in the beginning, remember how I told you that your fingers get in the way when trying to cut on a flat surface? So what I did was I put the knife down like that and tried to press on it, which does not give me a lot of leverage. So when I did it again, I held it like this and then pressed down. So again, just all knives are designed this way, but TJ Schwartz, he just happened to get it right in his knife, and pretty cool with that. But crazy sharp knife. All right, now we got a radiator hose. This is the reinforced radiator hose. So you see the kind of pattern right there, the reinforcement, and you can see it on the end there, a little bit of those white threads in there that helps reinforce that. So let's see how it does getting through it. Man, it goes through it relative ease. Put it on the table like that. And I think this is going to be, oh yeah, look at that. Really sharp knife. So the knife is not so much struggling with this. I'm struggling to get a hold of this little bitty piece of radiator hose. But there you have it. So after all those, let's go ahead and look at that edge. Still looking good. All right, let's set those aside. Let's go ahead and see how it does with some cardboard. So standard Amazon box here, not super thick. Goes through it pretty easy. Get it from the side there. Ooh, even does better from the side. All right, let's set it down on the table. And a lot of knives can get through it that way, but struggle to cut it on a flat surface like this. Use that tip. Goes through it with absolute ease. There you go. All right, so before we end, let's just see, putting it through all these cutting tests, if it did anything to the sharpness of this knife. Again, I'm not the best at cutting paper sometimes, but as you can see, still sharp. So there you have it, guys. So this is the Jack Wolf Vampire Hunter. So there's the Jack Wolf logo. Show you the other side so you can get both sides of that handle too. And there's the LT Wright logo on there. Collaboration between Jack Wolf and LT Wright. Amazing knife. Absolutely one of my grails. Super excited now to have this one in my collection. I still kind of pinching myself that I actually got it, but just an amazing knife. And again, one of those Grail knives that I wanted for a long time, and just can't be more pleased to show this thing off to you guys. So just remember, as we're out there wandering and preparing, let's make sure we do so by faith and not by sight. So just one thing you're going to see different in my videos going forward, I'm going to stop actually putting any kind of language on there that says like my videos or subscribe to my channel. I would love for you to do both of those things, but I want you to do those things because you truly want to. So this is the last time you're actually going to hear me ask for a like or subscribe, but just know I'd love for you to do that. But just can't thank you guys enough for this. Really enjoy making these videos, and that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much.